Moses Moody has to avoid disaster next season for the Warriors. As the Golden State Warriors enter next season, almost no player has higher expectations placed on them than young wing Moses Moody. After a strong showing in 2024-25, the organization has showed their faith in Moody by holding him out of any potential Jonathan Kuminga sign and trade. And now, the young wing must take it upon himself to not only prove the organization correct but also keep himself out of further trade talks for Trey Murphy III. Although the Warriors have shown their belief that Moody can continue his upward trajectory, it is clear that he would be on the trading block were a player of Murphy's caliber to become available. Moses Moody needs to prove himself yet again next season. In the 2024-25 season, Moody took incredible strides forward in his game, averaging 9.8 points, 2.6 rebounds and 1.3 assists while taking over a large portion of starting wing duties following the team's acquisition of Jimmy Butler. Moreover, while a hand injury that was surgically fixed this offseason left him in a shooting slump in the late regular season and into the playoffs, he shot a career-best 37.4% from beyond the arc. As he enters the first season of his 3-year, $37 million rookie contract extension with Golden State, Moody could very quickly develop into the cost-controlled, effective 3-and-D player that all contenders covet. Yet, at the same time, holding Moody out of trade discussions this offseason has been a bold swing on the Warriors' part. While it is uncertain whether they would have been able to acquire a player like Josh Giddey, their unwillingness to move Moody almost certainly prevented negotiations from even beginning in the first place. Therefore, Moody's uptick in performance last season must prove not to be a fluke, and, in order to continue to become an impact player, his three-point percentage will need to continue to climb closer to 40%. In the same sense, Moody must also avoid disaster for himself next season as a result of Golden State's rumored interest trading for Murphy, the New Orleans Pelicans' valuable young wing. Murphy, who is also on a team-friendly deal with a $25 million annual value, presents essentially an advanced version of Moody's skill set. Although there was a downtick in his perimeter shot last year, he still averaged 21.2 points, 5.1 rebounds and 3.5 assists while playing stellar defense for the Pelicans. If Moody does not continue taking strides forward in his game, the Warriors could intensify their pursuit of Murphy, causing the young wing to be definitively placed on the trade block. Therefore, Moody must continue to accelerate his performance in order to avoid disaster both for the organization and for himself next season. As the Golden State Warriors have attempted to find a solution to their desperate need at the position of center this offseason, veteran Al Horford has been the most likely candidate to join the team from the outset of free agency. Yet, as NBA insider Jake Fisher has confirmed, it is very possible that Horford commands both more than the veteran minimum and more than just 1 year on his deal, a fact that reveals how badly the team needs the veteran services. As they attempt to give themselves as much financial flexibility as possible in the coming seasons, the Warriors would typically be adverse to this kind of deal for a veteran, but, in this case, they might not have a choice. The details of Al Horford's likely deal signify a desperate need for the Warriors. Horford, who has played 18 seasons in the NBA and won a championship with the Boston Celtics in 2024, most certainly has earned the right to dictate the terms of his contract were he to decide to further his career with another organization. Yet, as the off-season has gone and his initial suitors have all found their positional solutions, he has been essentially left with the options of either signing with the Warriors or entering retirement. Still, according to Fisher, Horford's deal will be more complicated than those of the other veterans with whom Golden State has had negotiations this offseason. Al Horford's situation is a bit different because, depending on where the Warriors land in a cap or tax situation, I believe he is slated to potentially make upwards of the full taxpayer mid-level exception, and there is some discussion about whether or not he could be receiving a 2-year deal with a player option. Last season, through 60 games with Boston, Horford averaged 9 points, 6.2 rebounds and 2.1 assists, shooting 26.3% from three-point range and starting 42 games throughout the campaign. Although the Warriors have found a rare talent with the ascension of Quinton Post from the G League last year, the steps he still needs to take in his defensive and rebounding game make it difficult to rely on him in high-leverage situations. Horford, as the team's sole option to rectify this problem this offseason, likely has significant leverage heading into negotiations with Golden State. Still, a player option on a 2-year deal would take away a significant amount of flexibility from the front office as they enter the final year of Stephen Curry's contract, a season in which contention will be the all-important goal. Therefore, Horford, who otherwise may have retired this offseason, will now command a significant, and possibly problematic, contract from the Warriors as they attempt to fill this massive hole in their roster.